The world as we know it has changed forever. We have to unite more than ever. It has never been easier to connect. Social media is the great equalizer. As we continue to learn from each other, it allows us to challenge our beliefs, turn our fears into action. How far can we go? It's up to us. We have to conquer our fears, crush mediocrity, stay motivated, dream big. If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. In the think tank, we will never settle for anything less than an extraordinary life. Okay, we're recording. Welcome, lovely Sheridan. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great. I'm just so happy to have you. We had a few ups and downs. You're such a busy lady.
I know. I'm happy we could finally make it happen.
Good, wonderful.
And
I'm so
I
happy
look
to.
forward to speaking with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yeah, in
Yeah.
the think tank, we try to bring ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. And you are definitely an extraordinary person.
Well, thank you.
Good. But your accomplishments speak for itself. Let me just tell our audience a little bit about you, and I'll let you go in more detail. But you're the founder of Buddy Ambassadors. You're a mother, you're an author, you're an educator, you're a motivational speaker, and most of all, you're an anti-bullying advocate who believe in the power of education, storytelling, and advocacy. You enjoy traveling the world and sharing your stories. You've been to 6 of the 7 continents. Wow. I think I've been to 2. So
Well, you'll get there soon enough.
right.
Once COVID is gone, I know you'll
I
be.
know. I interviewed a gentleman in Dubai, a Toastmaster friend of mine in Dubai, and have an open invitation to go to Dubai, and I'm dying to go. You know?
Oh, well, I think you'll be going very soon.
Oh yes, indeed. So besides traveling the world, in 2019, you were the recipient of the prestigious Palm Beach Illustrated Magazine Educator of the Year Award. In 2015, you were also another recipient of the Athena Awards for women who have excelled in their professional endeavors. Wow, you hold a bachelor's degree in communications from Florida Atlantic University. You got a master's degree in international relations from Queensland, Australia. Welcome, busy lady. Welcome to the think tank.
Thank you for having me. And I like your name, the think tank. Is that all you? The think
Yes,
tank?
the think tank is all me. So I
Okay.
bring on ordinary people, and actually what happened, let me give you a quick bio. About a year and a half ago, I became a professional speaker. I entered the ranks. So I was traveling a lot, speaking professionally, and doing what I enjoy doing, motivating corporate in the corporate world. Then COVID came in March and wiped out everything. There's no conferences anymore.
Oh, right.
So I had to pivot. I tell people life is not about complaining. It's not about feeling sorry for yourself. You figure it out.
Constantly reinventing yourself.
That's exactly right.
Constantly. And you're doing a good job at it. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. So I've done that. But today's interview is not about me. It's about you.
I know, because I'm sitting there, I have a million questions, and I'm like, okay, lovely, this is not your interview. This
Yeah, I
is
know.
the interview, because I really want to ask you so many questions. So I think I'll have to start my own podcast, or,
There you go. There
you
you
know,
go.
and then I'll have to have you on.
Well, in between, it's a dialogue. It's not just you talking. I try to have a dialogue with my guests.
Good.
So if something comes in, I'll interject. I'll ask you a question, or vice versa, you can ask me a question. But most of all, I want to give value to you, because what you've done, like I said, you're an ordinary person doing extraordinary things. You're giving your life to children. And I forgot to mention one thing. You have a handsome little guy.
Oh, thank you.
I see him on Facebook. He's a handsome little guy.
And to think that the most beautiful thing about him is his heart. So
yes,
that's even better.
well, he got it from his mother.
I got lucky.
Definitely. But tell us about Buddy Ambassadors. What's your mission for Buddy Ambassadors?
Well, Buddy Ambassadors is basically, I've always been passionate about children. I've always been passionate about teaching. And I started to think of, in what ways could we combat bullying, And there were so many different ways, but I found all of them focus on the same thing, the bully. Right. The bully. And who's the bully? The bully, when we focus on children, right? The bully is really a child
Right.
that to me, children are not bad. They're making bad choices. And so a lot of the times you have children, you know, oftentimes they are victim of bullying themselves.
Right.
They're in a lot of pain. They're going through something. They're crying out. They're lashing out. They want help.
Right.
And so I wanted to shift the focus from the bully and focus more on the buddy. And I felt like if we build up more buddies, if we encourage children to be buddies, to be
Right.
kind, to look out for others, and if we put a good title on it called a buddy ambassador, if we made them a buddy ambassador, then we would reach, probably it would be a way of reaching out to the bullies
Right.
and possibly turn bullies into buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just a concept that I came up with. If we focus on the positive, basically, rather than focusing on the negative,
Mm-hmm.
and work towards creating a culture of building buddies instead of focusing on bullies. And so I wrote a story called Be a Buddy, Not a Bully.
Right.
And from that story, so many things came from that story. It was just a little story that I wrote
Mm-hmm.
to just sort of show that a little boy who was bullying somebody on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
and later on he ended up getting bullied. And guess who ended up helping him? The little boy that he was being bullied. So it was sort of a story about treating others the way you would like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And it resonated so well with the kids and even with the adults. It was such a simple but profound story. And so from that, it birthed the ideas of a few campaigns I've had,
Right.
and then with the final one now being Buddy Ambassadors. So that's where it all came from.
Wow. 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 That's wonderful. I have a friend. I interviewed someone on my podcast about a month ago. His name's Shlomo. If you should go on Martin Spencer Speaks on YouTube, you'll see he was bullied as a child. He's from I think Iran. Anyway, he's been in the States for years and years and years now. But his story is, I think I'm gonna link you guys up because he has a story. He moved to Philadelphia to pursue his passion.
Is he St. Lucian or?
No,
Oh,
no,
you said
no.
Iran.
Yes, he's from Iran, but
Right.
he's in America. I met him in Toastmasters, but he's on my program. If you look at Shlomo, his
Okay.
story is about bullying, and he just wrote a book on bullying, and his whole mission is anti-bully because he was bullied as a child because he used to stutter, that he couldn't speak, and they bullied him, and then he said, you know what, when I grow up, I'm gonna make sure no child is ever bullied.
Right.
So,
And for me, I said anti-bullying, but it's a Be a Buddy campaign.
right.
So I hate even using the word anti-bullying. I just want to focus on being a buddy. So when I go in there, I created a program now. I developed a program and workshop, Be a Buddy Ambassadors program workshop.
Right.
And we focus on providing children with the tips and tools to help them to be the best version of themselves, to be a buddy, to reach out to others. And those who are bullies, who are not making right choices, we also include them in that. We try to help them encourage them to become a buddy ambassador. And so one of the good thing about the Buddy Ambassadors program is that they get a button. So they become an official buddy ambassador. They have to go through the workshop. And at the end of the 8-week workshop, they become a buddy ambassador. And apart from all what they're going to learn, now they have something to live up to.
Right.
And children love to have something to live up to. They love that responsibility. They love hey, I'm a buddy ambassador. And so it gives the bully an opportunity to become a buddy, to work towards something great, to award them. For us, it's not on academic performance, it's on character. So we tell the teachers when we see the child, if you see a child who's always been making bad choices, if they are engaging in doing something that is kind, highlight that. The positive reinforcement is so good. So it's just about creating a culture of positivity, of kindness, of inclusion, raising awareness on empathy, compassion, all of those things. And it has been really effective because the schools have been very supportive, and teachers want to incorporate that sort of culture in their classrooms, and principals in their schools. So it has started a movement, and I'm really excited about it. Definitely.
It looks like it's gone viral.
I don't, not so much viral yet, but we are. Last year it was once I kicked off the campaign, I mean, I was teaching, and all of these things is sort of like recreational. Like I do a lot of volunteer work,
Right.
and I would write books on the side and go speak on everything as something I do on the side. But I had to resign from that, and I focus on Buddy Ambassadors full time
Wow.
in end of 28, beginning of 2019. So last year.
Hmm.
And within that year, we've been to 5 countries
Wow.
in the Caribbean and here in the US. And it was really just taking off. And COVID happened. So everything now is, now all schools, are sort of
Exactly.
closed. And it's at a standstill because we can't travel to other countries.
Right.
But I'm just really thankful and blessed that educators and stakeholders see the value of this program. And so everybody's just keen on, once everything, some sense of normalcy, to just keep going. They are still invested. And
Right.
so I'm really excited about that. But now we have the virtual workshops
Right.
online. So that at least keeps the messaging going, so that's good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, that's great, buddy ambassador. That is a wonderful. That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
you're originally from St. Lucia, right?
Yes, I was born and raised in St. Lucia. I left St. Lucia when I was 17 years old.
Just like me. I left at 17 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
a
used to run.
magic.
So I run track and field. I came on a track scholarship.
Oh, in what state?
I went to at first I started off in California, then I ended up at the University of Nevada in Reno.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, my mom was living here, so I joined her when I was 17. I started college
Good.
at 18.
Hmm.
At 18, no, I moved here when I was about to turn 18. I wasn't 18 yet, so I was, yeah.
Good.
And then I joined my mom, and then I moved to Australia at 24. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How long you
20,
spend?
24.
How long you spend in Australia?
How was it there?
How long you spend there?
Oh, a little over a year.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, so I could complete my master's degree. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
that
So,
was quite an adventure.
oh, I could imagine. You're an adventurous. I see your Facebook posts, and you're all over the world. I had to touch each continent. So you got one more to go. Which continent you have left to go?
Antarctica. And that
I was just about to say that.
yes, and that was the goal for 40, to complete that final destination, but COVID had other plans.
Let me tell you, COVID has been so devastating to so many people. But
I
you know
know.
what? Something you have to look at it. That's where in the pain, that's where the growth is.
Oh, for sure. I mean, of course, it has been devastating on so many fronts. So many people have lost their lives. So,
Yes.
we wouldn't be here celebrating COVID. It has definitely changed our life. It's unprecedented, but it has been so much good
Ah,
from that for all of us. And if we really take time to reset, and we take
right,
time and we pay attention, it will align us
right,
exactly where we need to
right.
be. So I've just been just grateful, just
Same
thank.
here. I live in gratitude all the time.
Oh,
I
you
live in
have to.
every day. I live in gratitude. There's a statistic I give when when I was speaking like 4 or 5 months ago. I give a statistic that every day in America, every day, 1 million people don't wake up every morning,
Right.
and we wake up. So what are we worried about? We
Hmm.
woke up every day. Like this morning, I woke up and I wanted to go work out. I was kind of feeling lazy. My wife went to work out. Then about 20 minutes, I said, you know what? Get up. Just go. You want to do it? Do it. Be in
Do it.
gratitude. Be in gratitude.
Be
That,
grateful.
yes.
And so
Mhm.
many people are not here, and so many people have lost their lives, and you definitely, when you think about what it is you're complaining about, but you're here, you're above ground, so
That's what
just
it
have
is.
to
Yep.
give thanks.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hmm.
So your little boy, he's what? Is he 7 years, seven now?
12.
Oh my God! If he has that, he'd be mad at
You
me.
probably saw a picture because I keep sharing the pictures. He's growing so fast. And
Right.
so every
Okay.
time I see the Facebook memories, I always share it when he's,
Wonderful. He looks like a
growing up. So
great
he's
young
12
man.
now. So he's, yeah, just started middle school.
Right.
So
Oh man, wonderful. Well,
growing well, and he's doing well. So I
keep
give
him
thanks.
hungry. Keep him hungry. Keep him hungry.
Yes, that's what
Like
I try to do.
keep him hungry. Don't ever, like I tell people, kids have dreams. I you know, I'm a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the product of dreams. When I was a little boy, I dreamt of coming to America, and I saw a story about Jesse Owens winning the Olympics, and in the
Uh,
100 meters, and I said, I want to be like Jesse Owens.
right.
I didn't get to the Olympics because St. Lucia was not part of the IOC International Committee at the time.
You
But
were a runner, you said?
yeah, I ran 100 meters.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like my wife calls, I'm an old Usain Bolt. I'm an old Bolt. I still run. I run masters track and field. You know,
Oh, very nice.
yeah, but
Okay.
still, just stay active. You stay active. I meet a lot of good friends on my old buddies, and
Mhm.
we stay in shape. We stay in
Have
good
you
shape.
run a marathon by any
No,
chance?
I run the short distances.
Or just short distances?
Yeah, I run the
Okay.
sprints, 100, 200, 400. Yeah.
What is it? Just a quick question, but what is it about the short distance runners and the long? As if there's almost like a code that you're not supposed to make.
People who run short distances hate long distances. I hate a marathon is 26 miles, and I run 100 yards, 100 meters. Okay, so look at the two of them. So the difference is I just hate long distance.
Distances,
Yeah.
okay.
So and the people who run long distance, 100 meters is just they don't have the foot speed. What do you call it? The foot speed? So
Right.
yeah. But being an athlete has been good to me. It gave me a great college education. I started with an AA degree and a bachelor's degree, my master's degree,
Wow.
and all through running,
Also,
all
right.
through these two little skinny legs. I always say, right? So
That's my one regret from school is that I never took up any form of sport.
wow.
I was into the music and the writing and the,
Mhm.
artistry, but never sports. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty tall, so I should have, you know.
Should have
So now I
exactly.
think I'm trying to compensate for that
I
in
know.
my 30s and 40s. I try to be very active.
That's good. Yeah, you got to stay active. It becomes a way of life. It's a way of life for me. It's a way of
Absolutely.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at a couple of books. So you had a children's book,
Hmm.
Be a Buddy, compelled you to write your autobiography at such a young age.
Okay, good. I really did not. I did not intend for it to be an autobiography. I wasn't sitting there thinking, let me write an autobiography.
Right.
I just wanted to write a book because I felt at the time I had traveled quite extensively, over 50 countries at the time,
Wow.
and I lived in a few
You said
countries.
50, 50?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was 29, about to be 30, I believe. Yeah. And so I had lived in Japan and China and Sweden and Australia,
Hmm.
in the Caribbean. So I felt I had, experienced and lived a lot, and the journey. And all along when I was traveling, I had something like a travel blog. So I used to write and tell my stories and
Right.
all the time. So I kind of had like people were following me on the journey. So I had a little bit of a compilation of writings over the years.
And you had a tribe. You had
So
a tribe following you. You had a tribe, right?
a small tribe, very
Oh,
small.
tribe.
They, quite intrigued. We from a small island, so people see a girl like me
Right. That's a very good
going,
title.
traveling to all those far-flung places. And
Hmm.
so they were curious. So, I shared a lot of, usually you're on my Facebook, so, I'm
Right.
pretty
Yeah. Hmm.
open. And I
Sure.
believe in sharing, and it's
Hmm.
part of my personality and who I am.
Right.
And so I always love to share, especially coming from uh, a, a small island.
Hmm.
I know a lot of, now everybody's traveling all over, but
Hmm.
there are a good amount of people who will not have the opportunity to travel to those
Right.
places. And so I felt like, why not share it and give them um, a window
Right.
or somewhat of a mirror of what this is all about, and also for them to inspire them maybe to want to go to those places.
Right. Right.
So, and also on the personal front, I think a lot of times, we all of us, we put our best foot forward. So on social media, we all presenting
Oh.
ourselves the best way. So when you saw me traveling to different countries and everything all looked great, looked like a
Hmm.
fairy tale, right? And I felt like such a great responsibility to tell my story authentically,
Right.
to talk about the journey, where I'm from, where I come from, how I got here, the challenges, the obstacles, the adversities, everything. And I was very candid about that,
Yep. Yep.
from professional to personal. So
Hmm.
a lot of people connected with that book. and it resonated with a lot of people. So
Wonderful.
it
Okay.
really did well,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it birthed the writer within me.
Right within you.
Yeah.
Good.
And there afterwards, I knew, as I said, this book was sort of like I just took everything that I had been writing over the years
Mm-hmm.
and tied it into a little bit. So it read like an autobiography,
Right.
but I knew that I wasn't sure. I, I did not want to be a writer. I wasn't sitting down, oh, I want to write many, many books. But I realized the power of writing and the power that, how you connect with people through writing. And I love expressing myself through writing. I actually don't like videos and
Mm-hmm.
any of that. I love pictures, but not really video. I like to I feel like everything happens so quickly and I don't have time to process my thoughts and write it down. So I made quite an exception for you. You would not see me on too many videos out there.
Well, you know, we
Not even
appreciate.
on my Facebook page. I prefer to write or share
Right.
pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I was thinking of how do I want to continue on with the work that I'm doing, because I know I want to continue to connect with people and continue to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it would be best to write it. But I realized that I wanted to really connect with children.
Right.
I really wanted to tell stories to empower and to help children as they grow become the best version of themselves, because I know as a little girl, some of the challenges, the things that I face. And I felt like I could use storytelling
Mm-hmm.
to really get that message across. So the first book I wrote after that was called Tiki Talk Growing Up in St. Lucia with Jonathan Gladden. Well,
Okay.
I wrote it and he illustrated with all his beautiful pictures.
Wonderful.
And that book I love it. It just talks about growing up home and
Mm-hmm.
how the simple life, how much of a blessing that was in so many ways, and how our unique culture and traditions. So that was a great one. And then I wrote one called Unique Begins with You
Mm-hmm.
for children. So telling them, you are unique.
Right.
Unique starts
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
letter U. So you are unique. And so I featured a lot of um, um, multi-racial
Mm-hmm.
uh, children in there. And
Sure.
that's a lot of my focus, that diversity,
Mm-hmm.
really including the all,
Right.
in there. But also on the black and brown boys and girls,
Right.
that's
Sure.
so important. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one book. And then, oh my God, I just turned 40. So, I should have written this
I
down.
know. I know.
So be a buddy, not a bully. I wrote a book on child sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
safe, inappropriate touching for
Right.
children.
Right.
And there are a few others. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't remember it off my head
That's
now.
good. That's
But
really
then all of it is for children
yeah.
and just
Yeah.
to raise awareness and to empower them.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote one called Little Man Pull Up Your Pants. It's for the little boys who wear the sagging pants,
Right. Right. Exactly.
I told a story about a little boy that came from the Caribbean with his school uniform. He was going to school in his school uniform, proudly wearing his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And he got teased at school because, all the cool guys,
Right. Right.
So he wanted to sort of join in,
Mm-hmm.
but his mom sort of educated him on the history of
Right.
sagging pants. And so a
Right.
lot of the times, you find young people doing things and they're not even aware of the history
Sure.
behind, and so it's stories like that I love to tell. It's
Mm-hmm.
really just stories to help raise the consciousness of children
Right. Right.
and to get them to really think about, their actions, their
Mm-hmm.
words, and that kind
Okay.
of
Yeah. Well, in the Caribbean, we grew up. My parents grew up. I mean, I was there was my dad, not my mom. My dad was just so strict on me. I'm the first of seven.
thing. Oh yeah.
And my dad was just so strict with me. Like even when I came to the United States and scholarship, I was running, I just didn't want to do anything negative so that it would upset my dad, even though I was away from him. But I was
Right, of course.
programmed in my mind, my dad, my mom, I don't want to do nothing to put a bad mark.
No, no.
Kids,
That's it
kids,
was with my mom and my
exactly,
granddad. It's
exactly.
kind of similar, yes.
I just didn't, I mean, even I still call my father's my uncle, like say Uncle George, Uncle Dennis, Auntie. I still do that as from a child. I
Child.
still have that respect for my elders, even if I'm probably 20 years, they're probably just 20 years older than I am. I still give the respect when I call. Hi, Uncle George. Hi, Auntie Dennis. Hi,
Of
Auntie
course.
Cam.
It is a lot,
Exactly. It
And
just
you know
it
what they said? They say, you're going to hate me now, but thank me later.
thank me later.
When you're younger, you all, but
Mhm.
when you grow up, you really, really just, all I say is thank you. Like my
Thank you.
granddad was so strict. My goodness. I mean, if you had asked me about him in my teen years or 20s,
Mhm.
I would probably be like, oh, he's this and that, but
Yeah.
now,
Now you love him. I
oh
saw
my
you
God,
posted the picture of him, right? And
yes, he's the person
uh,
that, for a very long time it came to,
mhm.
I realized, wow, the impact that he has had on not just me, but my entire family. So thank God that he was the type of man that he was, a man of principle and convictions, and, instill such great values within us.
Oh my
Those
God.
things last a lifetime, and it's
Let
so
me
important. So,
let me tell you, my dad, I look back, so when I look at my dad now, he's going to be 90 in January. Still,
oh,
he lives with my sister in Tampa. I'm in Tampa.
mhm.
And I look back at him and look at his, he's 90 now, a little feeble, and he's got some ailments going on. I look at the man he used to be, just so tough and
That's
hard
right.
on me. But you know what? That base that I have,
Oh,
my moral bar is so high.
hi,
If I
exactly.
if I just think of something negative, my mind goes back to my dad.
Yes.
And that toughness, that's mental toughness. And no, you got to be the best you can be. Don't follow the crowd. I can just hear these things resonate in my mind
Hmm.
every day, and it has lived with me forever. You know, so
Right.
so
The foundation that it creates and the
yes.
way that it shapes you,
Hmm.
it's the strength, because they're preparing you for the a
Oh,
world, a tough world. And
that's
a
true.
lot of the times you see it all the time when you have those kids in a bubble,
Hmm.
or you sort of just hand them everything. It's sort of almost making them handicapped in a
Right,
sense.
exactly.
And so, not that you go through life just making life hard for your kids or your
No,
family,
no.
but you have to really instill those values and provide them with the right tools
Right.
very earlier on.
Definitely,
It's
definitely,
important.
definitely.
It's very, very important.
Well, we've had a good chat today. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed just you. It's such an extraordinary. Like I say, you are truly an extraordinary person. Um,
Oh, thank you. And you are
something.
too. And you come from a family of extraordinary people, because we have one friend in common. It's
Mhm.
your nephew, right?
Right,
Oh,
Kevin?
it's
Yes.
Kevin is your nephew, who I am so proud of. And another St. Lucian. And I am sure, I think he mentioned, because I interviewed him, and I think he mentioned your granddad. Or is it your grandfather? I think the men in the family he has a lot of respect for.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. Well, my grandfather left my on my father's side. He left St. Lucia when he was 17 and went to New York and studied. He became a pharmacist. Then
uh,
my other uncle left St. Lucia and went to France and became a doctor. So we have a lot of role models.
Rose,
My
yes.
uncle George in in the Caribbean, my other dad's brother, he owns Fix, a financial bank, a little bank, a financial institution.
Hmm.
So I've got my other uncle Dennis in the Bahamas. He's a land surveyor. Used to be. He was a huge company, a land surveyor. So we have a lot of role models. Then my younger
And
brother,
that's so important.
yes,
I'm happy we're touching on that, the importance of role models, the
yes, yes,
importance of young people, especially young people, boys and girls, to
right,
have role models to look up to
right.
aspire to say, wow, it's sort of
That's
like a reflection of themselves to
right.
say, hey, I can achieve this, I can do this, because he did draw a lot of reference
Oh,
to the men in his family, his grandfathers, his uncles, and it definitely left footprints. And
yes.
then now to go on to flying jets all over the United
And being
States
a
at such a
captain,
young age,
that's what I'm saying, a captain.
a captain, right? A
Yeah,
captain at such a young age. and
yeah.
and you could see, not just, it's one thing to achieve our goals and success,
Hmm.
but the true success is in the character of the person,
Right.
right? It's in
True.
when the person grows up to be
Mhm.
a decent and good human being,
Oh,
which he is. It just makes you so,
yeah.
the
You must listen.
humility.
You must listen to his interview. You must listen to the
Oh
entirety.
yeah. Oh,
It is.
well, it
It
would be
is.
like listening to him all over again,
Yes. It is.
when I was interviewing him. I was just, because we used to, my mom had a preschool and a daycare center, and his
Right.
mom worked right next door.
Right. Hmm.
So I used to see him a lot as a little boy,
Little
and he was
boy. Yes.
so
Yes.
troublesome, as
I
we.
always. I told in the interview. I told him that he was a troublesome kid. You know.
Oh, he was so troublesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kevin told me he'd be flying, Me in
Mm-hmm.
a jet one day, I'll be like, whatever, that type of stuff. But it
Right.
just goes to show, as he said, from a child,
Yes.
he had the dream to become a pilot.
Right.
He always knew what he wanted to do, and he worked diligently towards that with
Oh,
all the obstacles. He
let me
stayed
tell you,
focused.
and he had some obstacles. He even slept in.
Oh,
He
oh
slept in.
yeah,
He stayed in his car for 2 weeks. I
car,
didn't even know
yes.
that. He went
Exa-
to Tampa. I went
Oh,
to.
you learned that in the interview.
Yes, I didn't
Ah,
know. I didn't know that. You see, he didn't tell it because he said, "Uncle," because he calls me uncle. He doesn't respect. He said, "Uncle, I didn't want to come back to Tampa and be a failure. I had to figure it
right.
out." And he and I would communicate all the time. And he would talk, would call me, and sometimes, yeah, I'd say, go. I say, go to Western Union, man. There's something there for you. A little something. He said, "Yeah, man. These McDonald's dollar burgers were good."
Okay, so you see,
So
that's
I
good.
mean, that's what the growth. That's where he grew. He
Right.
grew up in about 6 months in Houston, where he had nowhere to live, and he washing planes, and just said, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out. And
You
he and I would communicate. That's why he's like a son to me. We would talk almost every week, because he was down. I say, man, call me anytime. If
time, right?
even if you need $50 to eat, $50 for gas or something, we'd figure it out. But he's just an extraordinary. He hung in there, and I mean, the story is just
It's amazing, and I
yeah,
tell it, it's so important with what you're doing, which I've told you before.
hmm
Like it's so important for us to tell our stories.
yes, yes,
No matter what it is, turning the ordinary
into extraordinary.
extraordinary.
Yep,
Those extraordinary stories come from ordinary human beings, ordinary
exactly.
people,
Yeah,
and from I've just been from forever.
hmm
I love my people, my culture. I think that we have so many
oh,
extraordinary
yes, yes.
St. Lucians and people, but
hmm
we are so good, sadly, as a culture at highlighting the negative, what is not good about who we are.
Right.
And I think a lot of that stems from our history and
Yeah, oh
the
yeah.
sort of
hmm
slavery mindset.
Yeah,
But
colonialism, yeah.
colonial, yeah, we
Yeah.
need to really be conscious about that, in highlighting and telling the stories of the good about who we are
Right,
and about others. Just a simple gesture like you see me on Facebook and say, hey, I really love the work you're doing. Come, let's share your story.
right,
I get to know a little bit more about your story.
right.
Whoever watches this get to know a little bit about my story. But that's how it spread. It doesn't have
That's
to
how
be,
it's exactly.
I won an Oscar for me to be featured,
Right,
or you
right.
winning it. We are all doing great things in our own
In our
small
own way.
way.
Exactly.
And who knows who it can affect and who it can reach.
Can reach.
And we need more platforms like this for
Yes.
just for all of us to continue to share the good
Right.
in who we are as a people. So thank you for the work
Oh,
that you're doing in highlighting
thank you very
um,
much. Yeah, because I'm
and
global.
showcasing.
I'm in Australia. I'm in Dubai. I'm in the UK. I'm
I'm
in all over.
sure.
I have my clients, my friends interviews, and I always ask. I say, if you have anybody of influence you want to get on my show in the think tank, please reach out to me and let them to reach out to me. Because my value is to give. It's not about me. Like I said, I share my experiences also, and I have many to share. But I like to highlight people like I said again. I always be redundant. Take ordinary people and making them doing extraordinary things.
And let me
That's
tell you,
that's
just from to part with this, you are creating your own little how do you call it? You've been creating your legacy, but
mhm,
you prepare yourself and you just never know when out of all these interviews that you have done,
that's right.
when you're going to be going into your files and saying, I did interview this person, I interviewed that person, here, look, and you have your whole library now
Right, right.
of amazing people that you've interviewed. And whenever that moment comes,
hmm
you go viral,
That's right.
and said, I did that,
Right. Oh yeah, it was
Just
a vision. It's a vision. I mean, I have had, I mean, I'm in the process of getting ready to interview Father Father Anthony,
okay.
in St. Lucia. He's
Pioneer.
Monsignor Patrick Anthony, Monsignor, the
Yeah,
highest level in the Anca. So I mean, and he goes to the Vatican. So I'm excited about him getting, you
good
know,
for you.
and
Yeah.
he's only like 3 or 4 years older than I am. But we went to school. He was in Form 6. I was probably in Form 3 or 4. But I knew all these people when I was a little boy. They were just a little bit ahead of me. But as the years have gone on, they've all excelled. We have all excelled.
tells, right?
Exactly.
We
We
all
always
telling the
tell.
stories.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
one day you have to feature everybody on your think tank. We all have to meet,
There you
have
go.
a reunion, a think tank panel in St. Lucia.
There you go. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
projecting great things for you in the future.
Wonderful. I had a
Greater things.
thank you. I had a young man last week, Siobhan Henry. Siobhan, he was president of the Toastmasters Club in St. Lucia. He's only 29 years old. He's a young parliamentarian,
Oh,
and he once a I think once a year they go to Parliament, and he acts as the Prime Minister, and and they debate bills. I mean, fantastic young man.
yeah. All these
Speaks
people we don't
eloquent.
know
Yeah,
about, right?
yeah.
So these are the
Mhm.
stories that we need to hear. And we
Right.
know for those that diaspora,
Mm-hmm.
who are not really, we are in touch in some way, but we
Yes,
want to know more about the young people in St. Lucia and the things that they are doing and showcasing them. So
definitely.
thank you, thank you, thank
Oh, thank you. Thank you, lovely, so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know we had about 2 or 3 trials. You're such a busy lady. Say, man, can I reschedule? Can I reschedule?
you. I know. It was just always, but we made it happen today. And as I said,
Hmm.
maybe subconsciously I attract this to my something always happening because I really do not like video,
Right.
in,
Yeah. But
subconsciously
if you wanna go viral, I mean it's like Gary Vee says. Gary Vee says, Gary Vee, right? Vandercheck. You heard
uh-huh.
about him? Anyway, he says if you want to be famous, you got to go viral. You got to go video.
Yeah,
That
but the
people,
thing is, I really don't know if I want to be that. So
okay, okay, okay.
maybe that's why I want to be successful in the work that I do
Right, right,
and to be able to be me. But I'm really scared of the viral and the famous part because
right.
that too comes at a price.
It comes at a price, but you always have control. Remember that you always
Yeah,
have control. It's up to
yeah.
you. I take control of my life totally, totally.
Good.
That's what I do. And no one controls my time. No one controls my life. And and I enjoy what I do because
That's where I'm at now, and that's why I don't want to change it too
right.
much.
That's good.
And I'm very happy with it like that, so it's good.
Good, good, good. Well,
Well,
lovely.
thank you so much
Mhm. Let me
again.
ask you one. If anybody wants to get a hold of you to know more about your buddy program, how can they get a hold of you?
Buddyambassadors.com. You
Okay.
just go on there and we have all our workshops and
Mhm.
all the information on there. And we're on Facebook and on
Right.
Instagram, Buddy
Buddy
Ambassadors. Just
ambassadors, right?
put it Buddy Ambassadors.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
So
basically
you
it for now.
basically you branded yourself your business Buddy Ambassadors.
Everything, yes, it's Buddy
Wonderful.
Ambassadors. And so all the work that I do now, it's all
Mhm.
under Buddy Ambassadors. So we do
Wonderful.
various workshops for children, not just only on bullying, but on self-esteem, on
Right.
mentoring.
Mhm.
It has extended to other things. So that's why you
Wonderful.
can't get me half the time
I
now.
know. I'm gonna put you in touch with one of my friends that I just spoke to about 3 months ago, Shlomo. His name is
Okay,
Shlomo,
sure.
and he's definitely that's his passion right there. He was bullied as a child.
Oh,
I
I would
think
love to
you
talk.
guys, so he's in Philadelphia. You guys will have a good liaison. So
Mm.
I share that with him also. But anyway, I know you've got to run, and I've
Yes,
got to run.
thank you so
So
much. All the best. And I
thank
will
you.
be looking out for, yeah, I will. I have already told myself that I'll take one of these lazy afternoons and watch all your think tank interview because I went on there. You have quite a few already,
Right. Yes. Yes.
You really utilize your COVID time.
Yes, yes, indeed. COVID shut down, and I'm getting ready to improve it to do some monologues and different things. So it's always improve, always going bigger and bigger and
I
bigger
love it, love it, love
and
it.
bigger. Yep.
Stepping outside of your comfort zone. Good
Yes.
for you.
Yeah. So thank you again for being in the think tank. Thank you for being an extraordinary person.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
The
it.
world needs people like you. So don't ever
Thank
stop.
you.
Stay hungry. Okay.
Always.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks much.
Much
Bye
better.
bye.
We talk soon. Bye bye.